Welcome to Plymouth Basketball. This is Rick Warner along with Larry Falstich. Our cameraman is Jim Moyer. We're at the regional in Warsaw today where the Pilgrims going to be taking on Whitko High School. Whitko comes in here with a record of 17-5, and looking at their record, Larry, you see some of their losses are some teams kind of surprisingly lost to.
That's right. They lost to Triton 75-70, and they lost to Caston 71-66. Both teams where the Pilgrims won. And Triton game, the Pilgrims controlled. So, again, obviously the odds are in the Pilgrims' favor here, but that means nothing when it comes to a regional game. So, again, a packed house, excellent first game, and Hoosier Hysteria is set and ready to go right now.
And this is great. This is what it's all about. All those years you shoot in your driveway or whatever, you want to get to this point and even further. And right now the Pilgrims are defending regional champs. Of course, last year we played the regional at Huntington, Warsaw, and Huntington rotate every year, as does the semi-state. This year the semi-state will be in Fort Wayne at the Coliseum. Look a little bit at Whitko, how they advanced here. They're sectional. They came from the Columbia City sectional, where they beat Cherubusco 67-36 in round one, and then Manchester for the sectional championship 60-53. While on the other hand, the Pilgrims at Plymouth beat John Glenn 68-49, and in the championship game had a very easy time with Bremen 85-53, and that may have been one of the best efforts the Pilgrims have put out this year. They really played well against Bremen.
The only time these two teams have ever faced each other before was in 1974 regional, a long time back when I played, and Plymouth won that game 77-68, so that's the last time that they played is 1974.
There's Whitko is a team that comes in here with some experience. They start 4 seniors, 1 junior, and they have a little bit of size on them. Another, I guess you could call, interesting side light to this game is Tim Hill, who is a 6'4" senior for Whitko, is son of our Plymouth's new superintendent.
Again, I talked to him at Kiwanis on Tuesday, and his comment to me was, he's going to root for both teams at the same time so that nobody says anything. And he was laughing about it. He's obviously excited for his son, and as well as he should be.
Whitko has 3 players in double figures. Jay Esterline averages 15.8 points a game, while Henson averages 16.2, and then the Mr. Hill averages 14.6. So pretty good balanced scoring up front. They said they come in pretty big, a couple of 6'4" kids and 6'5", Zach Henson. So it'd be interesting to see if they try to just pound the ball inside on Plymouth, maybe try to get Eggleston in some foul trouble.
And again, so much depends on the early foul calling. But if you look at the statistics, Hill is shooting 51% from the floor, and Henson and Esterline 53. And so they've got a couple big people that are willing to put the ball up. And as we do, our percentage is just astonishing for our big players. Kramer's percentage from the floor and Eggleston's percentage from the floor, both tremendous, and it should be just a great matchup. I think the thing that we were commenting before is that if we can kick it back out after we bound it in, I think we'll have the 3-point shooters that'll make the difference here in this game. I guess that's the key to the game. Is in a regional contest when the nerves are up, can you hit those 3-point shots?
Of course, Plymouth coming off that performance against Bremen where they nailed 14 3-pointers and just raining basketballs at Plymouth High School that night. Be nice to see Plymouth come out and establish that perimeter game again tonight, as Larry mentioned.
Yeah. Eggleston 68% from the floor. Kramer up to 65% from the floor. I mean, those percentages are obviously very high, and of course, as we talked in the last broadcast, they received some great passes to help those percentages along from Adam Reese and Chamberlain. So a lot of press this week for the first time. The South Bend papers, really at the regional level, they really get into it. So we're hoping that didn't cause any problems. I know Adam Reese was featured in the South Bend Tribune with a color photograph, and there was TV newscasters around, and so hopefully all that will be left behind, and when they get out here on the floor in another 40 seconds, and they'll be able to play their normal game.
Of course, Adam Reese has been through this grinder before, as this is Plymouth's, I believe, 3rd straight trip to the regional, and as I said, they are defending regional champs, so hopefully the nerves won't really bother the Pilgrims.
Nope. We were there last year in Huntington. There was no sign of any nerves. This is a senior team, a lot of experience, so we should be able to come right out and jump right on them.
Of course, I want to point out, give some credit to Nick Wise, who surpassed the 1,000-point mark in his career as a junior. Nick's up to 1,025 as he passed that mark in the Plymouth sectional. So Nick still with another year ahead of him, too, to add to that total.
Getting ready for the lineups now. Crowd is, as we anticipated, sold-out crowd.
Of course, the first game played here this afternoon, Warsaw advanced to the championship game by downing Huntington North 53-37. Pretty easy game for Warsaw.
It was, and several of their big people got to rest for several minutes there in the second and third quarter when they were ahead, and they had a little foul trouble, so they'll be rested for tonight.
All right, now we'll turn things over to the public address announcer and meet today's ball clubs.
Number 30, David Noble. Number 32, Dan Reese. Number 34, Cam Collins. Number 42, Andy Grindle. Number 52, Andy Hutt. And number 54, Steve Savoy. And now the starter. Starting at one forward, number 40, Matt Kramer. At the other forward, number 44, Nick Watt. Starting at center, number 50, Brandon Eggleston. Starting at one guard, number 14, Adam Reese. And at the other guard, number 20, Jay Chamberlain. And now for Whitko, non-starters first. Number 4, Kevin Miller. Number 32, Jason Ayers. Number 20, Brandon Conley. Number 22, Troy Gilbert. Number 52, Jeremiah Law. And number 54, Bo Mullin. And now for the starters. At one forward, number 42, Tracy Brandenburg. At the other forward, number 44, Eric Custer. Starting at center, number 50, Jay Esterline. At one guard, number 34, Zach Henson. And number 40, Tim Hill at the other guard.
There you have the starting lineups. The Pilgrims will be the visitor on the scoreboard this afternoon, as Whitko is the home team. Once again, the starting lineups first for the Pilgrims will be number 14, Adam Reese, number 20, Dave Chamberlain, number 40, Matt Kramer, number 44, Nick Wise, and number 50, Brandon Eggleston. And for the Whitko Wildcats, it'll be number 42, Tracy Brandenburg, number 44, Eric Custer, number 50 is Jay Esterline, number 34 is Zach Henson, and number 40 is Tim Hill. And Larry, we're just about ready to see who advances to that championship game tonight.
Getting ready to go. Exciting for everyone here. My first chance to see the superintendent's son. Obviously, he was announced as a guard and is thin and will be playing, I believe, at the guard spot from what I heard the public address announcers say. His number is number 40.
Zach Henson for the Wildcats against Eggleston to tip things off. Very slender young man, too.
Not a lot of body weight out there by the Whitko.
Wise controls the basketball for the Pilgrims. We're underway. Chamberlain will spot for the three and nail it. Good start for the Pilgrims.
No pressure by the Pilgrims. Great way to start the game. Almost a turnover there.
Of course, the angle we have today is not the one that we're accustomed to. But there wasn't much room here at Warsaw High School, so you take what you can get as the Wildcats on the attack. We'll try a three, no good. Offensive rebound, Esterline. Esterline back up and got it. Esterline got the strong body and got the bucket. And the Pilgrims lead here 3-2. Wise fakes, bumps, and puts a shot up. No good. Rebound tipped around. Kramer got it and up and in. Loose basketball. Matt Kramer came up with it, and the Pilgrims lead 5-2.
What can you say about that? Two Whitko Wildcats should have had that ball, and Kramer scores. That's a great hustle. Ooh.
I believe that Brandon Eggleston is going to pick up that personal.
Then we talked about on the pregame show, first quarter here, fouls so important. Brandon picks up his first out of bounds. Whitko.
Brandenburg to run the inbounds. It's an into Tim Hill. Still guarded by Chamberlain. Little push, no whistle. Hill pulls up at the free throw line. Can't get it. Rebound tipped around on the floor. Esterline comes up with it and scores. And Whitko cuts the Plymouth lead to 1 at 5-4. Pilgrims will work the basketball around now. Reese. Side to Kramer. Eggleston. .6:16 left here in the first period. Nice cut by Reese, and Reese will get the basket, but they call an offensive foul. Let's see if they count it. I think they did. No, they did not.
No basket. Adams first.
That's an excellent cut to the basket.
It was excellent back door. Yeah, it was a great low bounce pass. Good help side defense though, and the official thought that the defense got there first and set up.
Hill in the corner works on Eggleston, pulls up from about 13 and got the shot. Nice looking shot in the lane by Tim Hill, and Whitko has a 1-point lead, 6-5. Wise tracks the loose basketball down. Now works out to Chamberlain, and the Pilgrims will set it back up. And Chamberlain fakes the three, pulls up and can't get the shot. Rebound tipped around, controlled by Kramer. Back up and in. Matt Kramer making his presence felt on an offensive board.
Well, at 6'2", he just does an unbelievable job of pulling down those offensive rebounds.
And Plymouth leads by 1 now at 7-6. 5:10 left in the period. Semifinal game at the Warsaw Regional. Inside double team and now taken away. Bad pass. Reese came away with it.
That's the first turnover I had.
Chamberlain got the three.
First turnover I had of the game there.
He got the solid screen set by Wise and had all day to look at it.
You give him 3 seconds to set up, you're going to be disappointed if you're the defense. We're going to be real happy.
You bet, as Plymouth has a 4-point lead, now a 2-point lead. As Tim Hill.
Nice looking guard at 6'4". He gets a high jump shot. It's hard for Plymouth to handle that.
Eggleston out to Chamberlain. Pilgrims up by 2 at 10-8. Good pass into Eggleston. Eggleston has a tough bounce. Wise with the offensive board. Back up and around and in.
Nick Wise on the board now with 2 points.
And a 4-point Pilgrim lead now at 12-8. So Pilgrims finished the regular season ranked 11th in the state. Now tipped away. Good defense by Kramer. And Whitko's going to have a foul called on him. Tracy Brandenburg will pick up the personal.
Brandenburg picks up his first, team's first.
And Whitko substitution. Number 32 is Jason Ayers into the ball game.
Jason Ayers is for Whitko.
I believe Brandenburg checked out. Nice cut. Wise can't get the basket. It'll go out of bounds off of Plymouth.
Another great back door. Another great pass by Chamberlain. It just got a little too far under, and Nick couldn't get it in the hole. But I tell you, things look good for the Pilgrims, by watching what's going on there on the backdoor cuts and how they match up. The only problem I see is with Hill. He's shooting.
A big kid, and he's
shooting right over Chamberlain.
A nice looking shot. Cuts the lead to 2 again for Plymouth at 12-10. 3.5 minutes left here in the first period.
6 of the 10 are from Hill for Whitko. Boy, Wise had him posted.
They get it into Nick. Nick turns around, short on the shot. And Whitko now with a chance to tie or take the lead. It's a nice move down underneath. They'll get the basket. Eric Custer ties it up at 12 apiece. And Whitko hanging with the Pilgrims here in this opening period. Reese, and a whistle foul on Whitko. Number 32, Jason Ayers, will pick up the personal. So Dave Chamberlain to run the inbounds play for the Pilgrims. Chamberlain looks into Kramer. Kramer against a double team. Can't get the roll. Eggleston is able to keep it alive. Now Chamberlain over to Wise. Wise has a look at the three. Got it. Nick Wise gives the Pilgrims a 3-point lead now at 15-12.
Great ball movement there. That was just nice job of kicking the ball around.
Rebound on the floor, now controlled by the Wildcats. They'll get the shot to go. Eric Custer. And Whitko's back within one at 15-14.
Whitko's doing a great job on the offensive boards.
Nick for another three. 18-14, Plymouth. Wise with a couple of big threes.
Again, that time the defensive man fell down. He had a long time to look at it.
Hill out to Henson. Henson pulls up from about 15. Can't get the shot. Rebound Kramer. Up ahead now to Wise. A 2-on-5. Wise drives, and he's going to get fouled. Whitko did a good job getting back on defense.
Might be Ayers' second. We'll have to wait and see what the call is.
Number 32, Jason Ayers, that will be his second, team's third.
Brian Ray checks into the Pilgrims lineup as Reese is going to get a breather.
Number 24, Brian Ray, in for Plymouth. Nick Wise is on for 2.
Wise will have 2 shots. First one is rounding in. And Plymouth has a 5-point lead, biggest of the afternoon, 19-14, 2:01 left in the period. And Nick cans both of them. Nick off to a fast start. At 8.
10 points for Nick so far.
He's got half of Plymouth's points.
2 threes and a field goal and 2 free throws.
Now Hill. Eggleston with a good job defensively.
He did a great job there.
Henson. Ball is still controlled by Whitko. Zach Henson. Brandon Conley into the game will put the shot up, and an offensive foul is called on Conley.
Boy, Kramer, you just can't say enough about him today. Connolly picking up his first, team's 4th. Everybody's going to look at these statistics and say, boy, Nick Weiss is doing everything, but so far Matt Kramer is doing a lot of little things right. One of the reasons we're ahead 20-14.
You bet. And Kramer's the type of player that any team would want on their side.
That's right. 2 offensive rebounds for a layup, and then he just took that charge.
Oh, Ray gets it back to Eggleston. 1:13 left here in the first.
Ray set an all-time high for himself in that last sectional game with 15 points.
Bryan shoots a 3, can't get it. Rebound pulled away by Hill. Inside a minute now in the quarter. Henson. Oh, Esterline against Chamberlain, puts a shot up, no good. Rebound strong by Eggleston. Good rebound for Brandon. We'll see if the Pilgrims elect to take the last shot of the quarter as we're down to about 40 seconds. Plymouth leads by 6 at 20-14. Looks like they're running the offense.
Down to 30 seconds now. I think the coach just signaled for 1. So now they're going to set it up for the one last shot. Ten seconds now. So they'll start that offense.
Wise to Ray. Back to Nick. Nick on the baseline, puts a shot up, no good. Rebound. And last second shot was well short.
Henson with a nice rebound there, but no chance to score.
So we played 1 quarter here in the Warsaw Regional where the Pilgrims have a 20-14 lead. We'll be back with second quarter action after this pause. And welcome back to the Warsaw Regional. This is Rick Warner along with Larry Falstich. Our cameraman is Jim Moyer as Plymouth has a 6-point lead going into the second quarter at 20-14, and Pilgrim's looking pretty good right now, Larry.
Again, the three-pointers falling again. That's what we had hoped. So far, Chamberlain has 2 and 2 3-pointers, and Nick Weiss has 2 3-pointers, so we have 4 3-pointers in the first quarter.
Savoy onto the floor for the Pilgrims. Hill can't get it that time. Rebound over the back, no call. Weiss out pulled away finally by Kramer.
Whitko very aggressive on the offensive boards there, and right now the referees are letting them play. There are very few over the back calls, which really is fine for both teams as long as that's the way they call them.
That's Savoy.
Savoy, a 50% three-point shooter on the year. You can see why there. That one was all net.
Big three.
Coming in off the bench.
Yeah, it's nice when you can have a big man step out and shoot that kind of percentage.
It'll be a lot easier for him to drive the next couple of times, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. Plymouth leads by 9 now at 23-14. This is good for the Pilgrims, too, as they're able to get some bench play.
Kramer, great rebound. Boy, they're really letting them go at it underneath the boards, and that's great basketball as long as they call it both ways, and they have been.
Oh, Kramer, nice pass. And they called a travel.
Gosh, what a great pass by Kramer.
Boy, that was an excellent look.
I wonder who he called the travel on.
I don't know. Didn't look like Wise did. Kramer might have.
Wise got the ball like 2 feet away from the basket. Just took one step, went up, must have shuffled his feet, and we must have been screened out.
Yeah, I sure didn't see it. A nice looking play that didn't get any points. Whitko with the basketball.
Hill's missed his last couple of shots now for Whitko. That's really going to be a key for them, whether or not he can continue to hit that outside shot over the top of our defense.
See, Whitko may look like they're spreading it out a little bit, maybe looking for some back door, some easy layups or something. Oh, Brandenburg cut off. Good defense by the Pilgrims. Now tipped away by Wise. Nick's going to have a look at the layup, and he got it. And an 11-point Plymouth lead at 25-14.
12 points now for Nick Wise. Crowds on their feet.
Dave Goebel's up and set to check into the Plymouth lineup, and playing his second game, this is so critical that you're able to rest your players.
A lot of substitutions early for Coach Edison.
Goebel and Chamberlain back in as Wise and Ray check out.
Goebel shooting 46% from the floor. He's also an excellent three-point shooter. He's a senior bench player. I mean, when you can bring somebody like that off the bench, you just got to be super happy as a coach, let me tell you.
Goebel got his hand on the pass in. Whitko now Henson. Turnaround shot, tough shot, in and out, no. Rebound out of bounds. It'll be Plymouth basketball.
Keep an eye on Savoy. He's really trying to play some tough D out there. I think some of the knocks on him this year has been his D, but he's doing it all today. He's on both ends of the court. He's giving it everything he's got. This is where a deep senior team will come in handy on a final day of a regional when you have to play 2 games.
They backed off Reese. Adam didn't quite have the time for the 3. Thought about it. Come out on Savoy a little bit higher this time. Now Kramer top of the key. Reese puts it over to Chamberlain. Now Goebel. Now Reese. 5:09 left. Reese to Savoy. Savoy shot blocked. Taken away by Hill. Can't get the shot. Rebound Hill again in the lane. He'll put it up and he'll score.
8 points for Tim Hill.
Rebound came off hard. Right back to Hill.
Well, you can see there that when they were coming down, Hill ran right over Dave Goebel after he passed the ball, but there was no call. And again, I think in a regional, you may want it that way. The calls are not very tight. There's very few fouls. Plymouth with two team fouls, 3 team fouls now. Savoy getting his first.
And Kramer pulls down another board. 9-point Plymouth lead, 25-16. Reese is going to shuffle the pivot foot, says the official.
That's a set play. It's called push down, used by many teams throughout the state, and it still works, even though everybody knows it.
The Zach Henson inbounds to Hill. 4:47 left now in the half. Hill being guarded by Chamberlain. Chamberlain real aggressive. Henson over in the corner. The three-pointer is short. Esterline with a rebound.
Travel, I believe.
Yep.
Great rebound by Esterline, but he moved all of his feet a couple times there before he put the ball on the floor.
The three-point attempt was by Brandon Conley from the corner.
Eggleston getting ready to check back in for the Pilgrims.
They've got to be really happy with the way this first half has went.
Clock's in our favor. They're working the ball well. Wise has been on the bench now for several minutes.
Goebel has the ball poked away from behind. Now Conley against Savoy, and Savoy is going to get a blocking foul.
Basket did not go. Someone else put it in afterwards.
Steve was just a split second late getting there.
Number 54, Steve Savoy, that is his second.
Now 2 shots coming to Conley. Kramer checks out of the lineup as Brandon checks back in. Conley can't get it.
Nick Wise checking back in.
Conley is an 80% free throw shooter on the year. He was 12 out of 15.
It's the first miss, I believe, or actually the first free throw attempt. 1 for 2.
Yeah, it makes it an 8-point deficit for Whitko. 25-17. Plymouth leads. Wise to Reese. Reese quick first step. Pulls up on the baseline. Can't get the shot. Rebound tipped around. Controlled by Hill. Like the Pilgrims had a chance at that tip back. Now Henson can't get the shot. Conley with the board. Triple team. Puts a shot up and in. Good effort by Conley. And the Wildcats back within 6 at 25-19. Just inside 3.5 minutes left before halftime. Whitko crowd getting into it a little bit now again. Savoy, and he's going to be fouled out front by Conley.
Second on Connolly.
Number 20, Brandon Conley is second.
Even the team fouls up at 5 apiece as Brandon Eggleston is ready to inbound the basketball into Reese. Boyd back to Reese.
Working real hard right now, trying to get Wise open.
Good cut. Shots blocked by Henson.
Nice athletic move by Henson there.
Hill shoots over Chamberlain. Shot is short. Rebound controlled. Tip back in now to Chamberlain. It's a good effort by Custer, but he saved it back into Plymouth. Now Wise is open for the three. Can't get it, a little bit short. Rebound pulled away. Eric Custer. Pilgrim's been stuck on 25 for a couple of minutes. Pull-up shot, no good by Henson. Rebound Chamberlain. Down to 2:20 left now in the second quarter. Plymouth up by 6 with the basketball. 25-19 lead. Inside to Wise, and a foul is going to be called on Henson.
Henson's first out of bounds. Pilgrims are not in the 1-on-1 yet.
Foul number 34, Zach Henson, his first, team 6.
As Brandenburg checks in for Henson.
Back in for Whitko.
Chamberlain into Wise. Wise has another look at the three. Can't get it. Conley with the board. No, up ahead to Custer. Esterline against Wise. Puts a shot up. No good. Rebound. And a foul is going to be called against Plymouth's Adam Reese.
Adam picking up his second.
Foul number 14, Adam Reese. That is his second.
Both teams with 16 fouls now.
Matt Kramer checks back into the Plymouth lineup as the boy checked out. Steve with some good minutes here in the first half. Of course, hit that big three. Inbounds play. Brandenburg into Conley, tipped out of bounds. Chamberlain with good hustle.
Well, they didn't leave Hinson on the bench very long. He's back up, inbounding the ball. They want him on Wise.
A minute 55 left. Brandenburg picked up by Wise. Now Henson. Wonder if Henson is the coach's son, as they are coached by Dave Henson.
Very fundamentally sound. That's usually a sign of a coach's son.
Good defense. Shot was off the side of the backboard, picked up by Hill, and Hill converts it. Cuts the lead back to 4.
10 points for Hill there, following his shot nicely. Poor block out that time by the Pilgrims after the shot.
Nick has another look at the three. Shots off. Rebound Hill. Minute 15 left in the half. Whitko with a chance to get back in this one. Custer up against Kramer. Got the shot. And Whitko back within 2 at 25-23.
Custer with 6 points. Pilgrims right now gone cold. I think Wise missed now his last 4.
And a foul on Brandenburg, and that'll send the Pilgrims to the free throw line for 1-and-1s.
Brandenburg picking up his second. Foul starting to come into play now. Mullins is going to come in for Whitko. Make sure that nobody picks up a third foul. Brandenburg, they're trying to protect him on his third foul.
Oh, 1-and-1 for Nick.
Nick, a 73% shooter on the year. And we need these two.
And Nick good with that one. It's a lead 3 points again at 26-23. The Pilgrims were up by 11 here at about the 4-minute mark.
Right. 13 points for Nick now. Nick missed about 4 in a row there from the field, and Whitko converted on the other end, and they turned it around. Gets the roll.
A 4-point Plymouth lead again at 27-23 inside a minute. Hill double teamed. It's to Custer, and that's a travel.
Nice job of throwing a trap on there by Coach Edison, just trying to mix it up a little bit, thinking that they would come out and try to go for one shot. And it worked. We got the ball back with 48 seconds to go. Here comes Hill. Some token defense.
And Plymouth only has 7 points this quarter. Kramer kicks it back out to Chamberlain. 33 seconds as Reese can't get the three. Tipped around. Rebound now controlled by the Pilgrims, but a foul is going to be called on Whitko.
He's Esterline picking up his first, but that was just all out good hustle by both players there.
It's a tough foul to get.
Brandon at the line now with a great chance to add to the lead. Brandon 72% on the year. As we said in many of the other broadcasts, he's just had a tremendous year. Hill taking a breather now with 28 seconds left. First time he's been on the bench this half.
Fine looking ball player.
Doing a fine job. He got dinged in the ear, I believe. He was holding his side of his head.
Brian Ray checked into the Pilgrims lineup for Adam Reese. Then Brandon converts the first one, a 5-point Plymouth lead.
How do you win regionals? You hit 5 free throws in a row. 5 for 5 for the Pilgrims so far today. Six for 6. Brandon with his first 2 points.
6-point Plymouth lead again at 29-23 and 22 seconds. Henson against Ray. Oh, Esterline out high.
Ray in your face defense. He's really playing hard. Chamberlain in the passing lane. Pilgrims really playing high on the passing lanes. Not gonna let him get this shot off easy.
Pull up by Henson. Tough shot. Rebound. Tip back to Henson. Henson will put it up and in. And that'll be the way the half ends. on the Hinson field goal, and Plymouth has their lead cut. 29-25 is the score. We'll be back with some halftime statistics and the second half of basketball here from the Warsaw Regional after this timeout.